was a pastor in Fort Wayne, but now Carlton Lynch is leaving town and even the state. And today, we sat down with him to find out why.
So I think I'm ready for a new adventure. You know, never done it before, but I think it's time.
Time to move on, says Carlton Lynch, from the church he pastored in, just down from the street he grew up on.
Straight down McKinney Street, turn left on Plaza. That was my home. I was adopted when I was 2 years old.
Hey guys, my name is Ashley Pienaar, coming to you live right here in South Africa, Cape Town, Bellville, from the APP headquarters, and I'm extremely excited. We've got a guest all the way from the United States of America, and I'm sitting here with Pastor Carlton Lynch, and with him also representing Cape Town Jubilee Ministries here. We also have Bishop Cuban Raff. Okay, so he's here with us. I just want to welcome the guest in the studio. Hey, great meeting you.
Good meeting you.
Great having you here.
Honor.
As you as well. Hey, wow. So, you a very active person when it comes to standing up for justice for the poor, and also just wherever you go, you have that ambience about you where you try to bring change for the better. So where did that all start for you?
You know, when I was, growing up in Fort Wayne, I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana, in America, and I always was in an area where there was a lot of violence. And when I first became a preacher, I just thought I was just going to be the preacher of the area, travel and have a long itinerary. But God, for some strange reason, always used to pull me into people that really needed help.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about church help. I'm talking about my son's been killed by the police and, those type of things. And so it's nothing that I really prayed for, but I was willing, by feeling the touch of God leading me into that direction. And so that it just kind of just happened.
And it's a pull you can't pull yourself away from, because if God has a certain path for you, then you cannot go against your purpose.
Absolutely.
So I can see that you're purpose-driven.
Yes.
Tell me one or two of the real cases that you've dealt with, which was a touching experience for you.
Well, I'll tell you one currently now. I live now in a city called Benton Harbor, Michigan. That's in the state. If you ever watch NFL, the Detroit Lions.
Yes, correct.
About 2 hours, 2.5 hours from that stadium. And, in Benton Harbor, Michigan, there's a bridge. There's a bridge that divides one set of people from another set of people. And so on the side that I live in Benton Harbor, Michigan, is very poor. People are struggling. People are hurting for finances. The educational breakdown is at an all-time low. Not enough money or resources coming into our city. But if you go across the bridge, less than a minute and a half, it's totally different. And I'm not from Cape Town, but I'm very interested in seeing the difference between areas and locations where this group can get resources, but this group they can't. You know what I'm saying? And they're struggling. So we're going against government. We're calling people to the carpet on the resources, and there is a high level of racism even when it relates to money that's being deposited into different communities.
Yeah. I just, at this point in time, I'm just also realizing that, there was there was a certain scenario that I saw on YouTube where you were dishing out almost 100,000 bottles of water.
Yeah, so I think 3 or 4 years ago, Flint, Michigan had what we've called a water crisis, where lead ended up in the water and children was hurting and so forth. So one of our leaders, Dr. Jamal Bryant, who at that time was in Baltimore, called for a mass demonstration to bring 1 million bottles of water into Flint. Flint, Michigan to Fort Wayne is roughly 2.5 hours. And so we pulled together in less than a week and a half, where we went to different grocery stores all over the city, worked out deals, buy one, get one free, and those things. I had semi-truck drivers calling me, asking me, and I'll be honest with you, I only had a goal of 1,000. I did, and then it went from 1,000. I said, okay, well, I'll cap off at 5,000. Yeah. But it kept coming and kept coming and kept coming. Wow. And before it was over with, I was up to about 55, 6,000. So I just said, you know what? Let's shoot for 100,000. Sure. And I mean, we hit it. God blessed. It didn't cost us anything to transport the water.
This reminds me of the 2 loaves of bread,
2 fish,
and the two fish, right?
Yeah,
and
multiply.
Yeah, everything just multiplying. But people, I normally say, people don't necessarily buy into an organization, but people buy into a personality.
Well, and not just the personality. People buy into a cause.
Into a cause.
Yeah.
But you represent a cause.
Yes. Yeah.
So people, if they like you, they like what you do, they're going to support you.
I think they like me.
I think they like you too. We've got Bishop Ralph here with us as well. Bishop, you another man close to my heart, and I do well admired at the church also for the kind of work you do. So where did the connection, because I can feel the chemistry here when it comes to spirituality. Mm-hmm. I can see there's a connection here. Right. So where did it all start with Pastor Lynch?
I want to first of all thank you for allowing us to be part of this program here today. It's an honor for us to be here today, as well as my friend Pastor Carlton Lynch. I met Pastor Lynch in 2010. I met him at New Beginnings Church of Chicago, which is located on the south side of Chicago. I met him to a good friend of mine by the name of Bishop Corey Brooks, who is the senior pastor for New Beginnings Church of Chicago, which is located on the south side of Chicago. Yeah. Pastor Corey Brooks is also one of the forerunners in the city of Chicago for social justice and bringing change into the communities where it is most needed. Pastor Brooks has started a church basically in the ghettos of the south side of Chicago, and that's where I basically met Pastor Lynch.
Would it be the ghettos? Could you compare it to our areas like Clark Estate and those areas?
We can compare them like to Clark Estate. We can compare them to places like Bishop Labers and Bontieville. Basically, that's where I met Pastor Lynch for the very first time in 2010, and ever since God has blessed us with a great relationship. I haven't heard from him in 8 years until I just got a call approximately 2-3 months ago from a very good friend of mine, which stays again now on the west side of Chicago by the name of Bishop Anthony Spencer, whom I heard also over here in 2010. Great preacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ, a man with a tremendous passion for God's people and also for traveling and to ministering the word of the Lord. So then he called me up and let me know that Pastor Lynch was coming over here because he shared his vision about wanting to celebrate his 40th birthday in the motherland, one, and number two, to also get the feel of what it's like preaching in the motherland. I said to Bishop Spencer, well, it's a done deal, because Spencer knows when I commit myself to something, man, it's a done deal. And last week Friday, it was an honor for me to pick up for the very first time in the beautiful city of Cape Town, which is called the motherland, none other than my friend Pastor Carlton Lynch.
Are you 40?
I'm 40.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm 40. But let me tell you this. Okay. I was talking to Pastor Spencer because I always wanted to go overseas. You know, it's a guy in Indiana who's like...
You're actually home now because like Bishop said, this is the motherland.
Yeah, I'm
home.
home.
Where it all started.
I'm at the crib. Right? and this guy always tried to get me to go to Brazil. But I don't know what it was. Nothing really tugged at me to go to Brazil. You know, when you think of Africa, you think about your people. You know, you think about who you connected to, that you know, I've been to family reunions, you know, even in the States, and people will come and they'll say, that's your granddaddy, so-and-so. Right. And that's how you feel when you come to Africa. You know, I've been trying to walk around and see people, and they've been very protective in a sense because of so much that's going on.
That's right.
But I'm not a stranger to my people. And so when I hit the soil, here, it just felt like I came home. And I don't feel like I'm a stranger even to you. You know, I had the opportunity to feed the less fortunate today.
In such a short, you've only been here 5 days.
Yes.
But you've done so much.
Yes. It's a busy place, and I've always, you know, and I'm always looking for something else to do. You know, even while we were serving today, I went into the store to see if they got some ice cream or something. You know, what else I'll buy it, you know, and give to the kids, because I have to be honest, and I said to some people from my church last night, I've been preaching 25 years. And
25 years?
I've been preaching, I've been preaching 25 years. And I have to be honest with you, even seeing the move of God hit that house on yesterday at a couple of the churches that we were at, out of all the places I've preached, all the things I've done, I have never, ever seen it drop the way it dropped yesterday. Glory fell, you know, and it's something, the people here are not playing about God. They really desperately, you know, want God. And so I'm grateful, honestly. People feel as though they're grateful for me to be here. No, I'm grateful that you all allow me to come in to this country. I'm here to be a blessing. I hate I gotta leave. We're talking about coming back next year, but I meant to come sooner than that, because I feel like God is doing something in this area.
And Cape Town needs people like you. Cape Town needs people like you. You know why? Because we have got, you know, the city of Cape Town, we've got a lot of NPOs, organizations, there more for self-gain than actually having a heart for the people. So many a times I'd say, sometimes people take a job, they become a nurse, but they're actually supposed to have become a policeman. And now they strong-arm the patients. Why? Because they weren't called for that purpose. So it's very important to run in your lane so that God can fulfill your purpose and also bring out the best. But just coming back to your purpose and what you're doing in Cape Town and the people you have connected with, there's quite a few pastors that you are working with now. Bishop Ralph, you mentioned a few of them. Can you just let us know?
Well, as yesterday we started our first service off at 9 a.m. We were having the opportunity to minister to the Reverend Oscar Peter Bogart, which is no stranger to our city, who is doing a phenomenal, tremendous work by community involvement projects over here. We had a great opportunity of ministering with him yesterday. This is the thing that really hit me when we got out of the car, when we heard the singing and the joy and the stuff that was going on within the building. I noticed that Pastor Lynch was stopping dead in his tracks, and he was just standing for a moment, and I didn't know what was happening. And then I realized something from the singing of the people in the inside had been done something to him. It hit his spirit. So he was just freezing for a moment, and he was just zooming into the phenomenal excitement and the joy and the way that people were just giving themselves over in worshiping God. And when he went over to preach the word of the living God, man, it was like the people was all ready for receiving. The message was so clear, and everybody at the House of Hope was basically ready to receive the impartation that came from the grace which is upon the man of God's life.
And if you open your, I think what is also good coming, having been reared by my grandmother in Clark's Estate, which is a rear type area. Myself having in my earlier days getting involved in gangsterism to a point for 3-4 years, and then the people I was involved with told me, hey, you got the potential to do so much more. We wish we knew, we wish we had what you had. So they actually motivated me out of that. And then I had a period where I was on drugs for about 5 years as well. And I didn't go to a rehab, but God just amazingly touched my life, where I realized, hey, well, I'm going to lose everything. And because since I was 3 years old, I was in an accident in a car drove over my head. That's why hence I have this mark right through. and I was in hospital for 6 months. And I normally say, if God has got a big purpose for you, the devil tries to kill you before the time.
Yes.
Exactly.
If he kills you, he kills your potential.
And your purpose.
Yeah, and your purpose.
And I'm gonna tell you what really got me yesterday when we pulled up. I didn't even know that he noticed me just stopping. You
Yeah.
know, what got me when we were driving, I seen people in suits
Right.
walking to church.
Yes.
It was hot, you know. And so when we pulled up, I was thinking to myself, they must be going to another church. You know what I mean? They're not coming to the one we going to.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it was only 6 cars, you know, outside on the lot.
That's right.
And I said, oh, we must be early. You know what I mean? I said,
Yeah.
we must be early.
Right.
You know,
Because we're expecting more cars to come.
yeah, in America, I started a church before.
Yeah.
And so I remember when I first started this first church of mine, I used to look outside a window
Right.
in my office
The
to
cars.
see how many cars are there. Because the cars will dictate how many people, you know,
Oh,
is there.
okay. Yeah,
so
for
we pull up and we see 6 cars, and I'm just speaking to myself. I said, oh, we early. They just getting things together and so forth. But then when I got out the car, it was a sound. And I was
And it's
thinking,
in CSI.
yeah, but I was thinking when I heard the sound, I was thinking they're playing music. You know, like it's a
Like a
it's a
CD.
CD. You know what I mean? You know, it's a CD
Yeah.
or something being played. But as I kept approaching the building, I said, no, that's live. That's in the moment. And when I went in and seen 6 cars outside with over 250 people jam-packed in a little house of a church with the doors open, and it reminded me in the word of the Lord that it was a man that was outside on a stretcher and he couldn't get in because the house was so full.
Right.
And they had to have the window. See, in Bible days, there were no doors and windows.
Yes.
You know, it's open, you know, so that the sound could go out. Even if I wasn't here scheduled to preach and I was just visiting Cape Town, walking through that area, that sound would have drew me in.
Yes.
It was a powerful sound to say, what's going on in here? You need to come.
Yeah.
And then even while I'm ministering, I'm seeing people still coming into the door. The church is packed, you know, but they still coming
But
in.
there's a hunger.
But there's a hunger, there's a thirst. They were so desperate for God, it just pulled me into another way.
You've also been ministering with Apostle Jacobus Browns.
Love him.
Yeah, he's my spiritual father as well. And just how did you find connecting with him?
You know, Bishop, anybody that I've met in Africa, in Cape Town, I met him through him.
Okay.
You know, the ironic thing is I've heard of him prior to coming.
Right.
He's been to America.
Yes.
He was there in 2010.
Yes.
I believe at the conference where we met, but Bishop always stands out.
Yeah.
I remember the Bishop, but I never really remembered him like that. But then when I hear that he's preached in America on numerous occasions, but just being in his presence for, I think I was doing an interview with him yesterday for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. There's a special grace on his life.
Right.
Bishop William Murphy writes a new song about 3 or 4 months ago entitled Same Grace. Meaning that what's on one person, I'm not going to hate on them, I'm not going to be jealous about them, I'm just going to speak 2 words, same grace.
Same.
And when you see Bishop, when you see Apostle, that's what comes to my mind. The grace that's on him.
Yeah.
My prayer is, God, favor me with at least just 20% of what he has.
Yeah, he's got an immense grace upon his life for sure.
Well, Ash, this is the thing. I just connected them. So tomorrow is going to be Tuesday. And so tomorrow we will have the blessed and opportunity to have Dr. Lynch ministering tomorrow at Jubilee at our 8 p.m. service tomorrow evening. That's going to be a cracker. That's going to be an electrifying service.
Not going to miss it for the world.
You cannot miss it for the world, because what I've experienced yesterday on at the first service and the second service, I can just imagine what God has got in store for us for tomorrow evening at Jubilee Life Ministries International, and at least at Wednesday night, he will close this crusade with Apostle Vincent Alexander and the Real Life Ministries in Bishop Davis.
Excellent, excellent. I want to quickly, lastly, we just want to touch on the, I know Vincent, Pastor Vincent Alexander, there's been a link with him as well. And Jubilee Ministries itself as well. And then you mentioned Apostle Andre Beckys.
Yes.
How did he, are you planning to go minister there, or what's that?
That was the second service yesterday. Now, you know for a fact, and we're going to be as real as possible, and we're going to call a spade a spade. Most of the preachers that comes from the U.S. only stops at the elite churches.
There we go.
And then they think they have seen it all. And so I said to Apostle Brawers, when Dr. Lynch comes, let's build it up. Let's build up. Let's bring him in what they would call the ghettos, what they would call the words back home. So that is why I had to start him off in Delft and then build it systematically from where we started, and then to build it up. Because as I said, most of the guys just stops at the elite churches, and from there they fly back home. So the thing is now, he's going to have, up to date, he has had a feel of the different streams. Like the first service, more strong Pentecostal, built up like an apostolic, charismatic, prophetic church. And then tomorrow you will be with Jubilee Life Ministries up to Apostle Vincent Alexander. So he had a feel of the different streams and how we worship.
In closing, at the moment currently in our country, and in Cape Town specifically, there's been a lot of attacks, violent attacks on children and women. We've had one of the victims was from Belleville area, where this woman her body was literally chopped up when they found the body. Then at our church at Jubilee, Chris, as well as Jesse is now talked about on television and all over, but was raped and killed, and tied up. A girl that was on her way to becoming a pastor, you know, one of the top students in the faculty. What do you say to a broken community, because our society has been crippled by this? So what is your message?
That's right.
To them, to encourage them, the families that are now. We've just buried Jesse. This Saturday we're burying Chris. So, what do you say to that kind of brokenness?
There was a funeral you all had this past Saturday.
Yes,
Jesse's funeral.
And the first thing me and Apostle talked about, he wasn't able to greet me because he had to host that funeral. Yeah. And I told him, man, I wish you would have told me, because I would have come to that funeral. Because violence is the same here than it is in America.
In America, you got drive-bys and all this.
All of that.
And rapes and women abuse.
Absolutely. You know, and it might not be, you know, when you talk about Chicago, when you talk about Detroit, when you talk about my city, you're going to be mostly talking about violence by way of guns, you know, and so forth, gangs, and those things. But we have our share, you know, of rapes and so forth. But this is what I was really feeling in my spirit coming in here, because he told me we was going to be meeting, we were going to be interviewing about different things. I was just thinking, even before we got here, I wanted to see the hood. I wanted to go see, you know, the ghetto. And they stopped, and I said to myself, what this city needs, they need 25 to 30 men and women of God that call for Cape Town revival. This city, I mean, listen, I work with Reverend Al Sharpton and National Action Network. You know, I believe in marching I believe in no justice, no peace. I believe in all that. I was in Ferguson when Mike Brown was killed. I marched for Trayvon Martin, killing of him. But there comes a time that the only thing that will make the devil back to hell up is going to be revival.
Right.
Yeah.
Revival, I believe, is hitting this city right now. I didn't know I was coming for this.
Yeah.
I was coming to celebrate my birthday,
That's right.
get me a virgin margarita. I didn't know anything until I got here about the rapes and the killings. I didn't think Cape Town was like that, And so God has a unique and funny way of pulling you in, not even knowing. Because if I would have known, I was thinking 40th birthday, I probably would have went to Puerto Rico or Mexico, and I don't know. But God says you can't get away from your purpose. You can't get away for what I designed for your life. Before your 40th birthday, before your dad and your mom met, He said, I already knew you. I already called you, already sanctified you, and called you to be a prophet unto the nation.
That's right.
I never knew in my wildest dreams that I would be sitting next to you, and I forgot your name already. I never knew that I'll be sitting next to you in Cape Town, South Africa, talking about women and children, lies and murders. That's what I do back home. But God says, I'm getting ready to give you global access.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting ready to allow you to get indoors that so many have been in, but they failed it because they only started the program for money. They was only trying to get resources. They was only trying to grow and shift their lives. But in this season, God needs men of God like Bishop and Apostle, that they're not doing it for financial gain. And myself, not doing it for financial gain.
Yes.
Not doing it, to get the award and those things, but really want to see the people of God blessed. And those are the type of things I'm going to be talking about tomorrow night and then on Wednesday.
Right.
That we must declare revival in Cape Town.
Right, to our viewers that are tuned in all around the world, want to say to all of you, whether you're in China, New Zealand, we got a lot of South Africans out in Australia as well. I want to say to all of you, remember this name, Pastor Carlton Lynch. Remember that name, because pretty soon you'll be stopping off in your country and coming to make a revival of a change in your communities. And I want to say that was very prophetic. A revival. Cape Town needs a revival conference. So we're looking forward to that. After just hearing this prophetic words come through, I'd like to say to all of you, don't forget, remember at all times, try to make a change wherever you are. Remember that in your mess is your message.
That's right.
And in your story lies your glory. My name is Ashley Pienaar, signing off live right here for APP Community News.